resources will be via Google Classroom. Right, I will share with you here. Today we will do the housekeeping. All right, so you can get all your resources here. Okay, this is the code OTASIM. All right, we can go there. As you can see here, all the resources are already available. All right. So I don't have a particular textbook. All right, I do refer to a particular textbook, but that textbook is hard to get. So you need to come to class and pay attention. All right, the points are already there in the slides. But the examples, the explanations, you need to take note or focus during class. Understand? All right, so this course is not that hard, it's rather straightforward. Okay, so you need to just fulfill the requirements, submit your assignment, you should be okay. All right. So here I have already shared all of the notes, okay, and all of the slides. So you can go there. So for the other thing that is important is here, where we need to talk about the course outline. All right. So this is the course outline, all right? To revise various types and functions of contemporary electronic media. Okay, what does this mean? All right, we want to know what is the contemporary. Contemporary means what? At the moment. Okay, what is the methods that people are using currently? Okay, we want to be updated because the media industry changes really fast. Okay. You can defend the practices, policies, and ethics of the media industry. All right. So like I said just now, the media industry, okay, we are not professional. We don't have a body that takes care of us. But, okay, there are some values or ethics and practices that is shared. Okay. So you must know about these practices. What is okay? What is not okay? Right? And then we can understand and mix social cultural elements in contemporary electronic media. Okay, how media industry affects culture and society. Why do you have to know how it affects culture and society? Because it will influence later on when you work or when you have to come up with content. Okay, you are sensitive about what is going on around you. So this is the course outline. All right. So this is your coursework details. Okay. Please don't refer to this. This is obviously an old dated date. I will correct them later. But the assignment is just the same. All right. So there will be a quiz, a group video, and a group assignment. So like I said, it's very simple. 2 group assignment, only 1 individual. Individual work is the quiz. Okay. For the group assignment, okay, you have to write a paper, okay, 4,000 words written assignment on the media in selected Muslim societies. Okay, I will assign which society you have to write about. Okay, so what is required in this assignment? Okay, you have to write a detailed analysis of how the media system works in that society. That means you must also include the components that we study in class. All right. And once you have finished with that written assignment, you just need to come up with a short video that summarizes the written assignment. Okay, that means you have come up with a good paper, okay, that explains how media is practiced in a certain country. Then you come up with a video to help people who don't want to read your paper. Okay, all right, so it's really straightforward, very simple. And this is the type of assignment that I know is very easy to copy paste. All right? So don't do that. Okay? When you get a simple assignment, you do it. All right? Don't copy paste. It's better to come up with a poor original assignment, okay, than a plagiarized good assignment. Okay? Do not plagiarize. Be smart. If you take something from another source, reference and then rephrase. Okay? But don't worry, later on we will discuss all of this assessment in more detail. Today I am just exposing you to what you need to do. Okay, so you can expect what to work on. So far can follow? All right? Okay, so you can go to the classroom. Yes, Arif? You raised your hand. You have anything to ask? Tertekan. Okay, he must have really been focused. All right? Okay, so that is it. You can get access to the documents, all right? Now, I want to start with our first lecture. It's a short one. It's just to introduce you. Okay? So here, the significance of electronic media. Now, why do I specify electronic? Because most of the media today is electronic. So basically, I'm just trying to say what is the significance of the media industry. Okay? Why do we want to learn about the media industry? What is it that we need to learn? Okay? Like I said just now. All right? Why do you want to study this? Because you want to relate to your career options. What can you do? Okay? So most of you are not even sure what you want to do just yet. Right? So hopefully when you study the industry, you realize there are so many things that you can do. Okay? And then when we talk about the media industry, it's very important that we can differentiate between having a fascination and actually understanding how the industry works. Okay, what do we mean by having a fascination? You want to become a journalist. It's a very noble, what we call it, ambition. And you want to change the world. And you think that writing can do it. There is a lot of fascination going on there. All right? But to realize this, you must understand that the industry has full of challenges. That is why it's hard for journalists to write freely. Okay, so if you want to be a successful journalist, it's good that you have the fascination because it create or build your interest and passion. But it's important for you to understand how the industry works so that you become more realistic and you become savvy. What do we mean by savvy? Savvy means you know how to get around. Okay, you know what is okay, you know how to do it, you know what is not acceptable. Okay, because you will learn, for example, that the industry is very focused on profit making. So you might have a news story that is so good that will save the world, but if your news story is not helpful in making money, it probably would not be printed out. Right? Okay. Now, before we study the media, you need to have a little background about the media. Okay, a historical development. Now, this is quite a challenge today, especially teaching your generation. Okay, you are the internet generation. Okay, because you are born in a media saturated world that is very different from the world before internet. Okay, so you must realize that before the internet, there were many other types of media forms. And each of these media form has contributed to the media experience that you have today. Right? Of course, this history of media can go very long. All right? The history of communication even much longer. Okay, history of communication as long as history of human. All right? To be human is to communicate. All right? But when did humans start using media? When they realize, okay, that they can use something else, another medium that can help them communicate better. All right. So who knows what is, okay, that is media, but there's a differences between media and mass media. All right. A love letter you write to your boyfriend is a media. It's just a medium. All right. But a statement that you write on your Twitter account, okay, is a mass medium. Okay, although some people call it micro, but now you can consider it mass because you are reaching so many audiences. Okay, so media, when we talk about mass media, which is reaching big number of audiences, the history also has been very long. What is the oldest mass media form? Who knows? Mass media form, the medium that we use, yes?
I think, Madam, newspaper.
Newspapers, okay? All right, so before newspaper, the oldest form of mass media is books. All right? So you know books, right? Traditionally, before they started having newspapers, they had books, okay? But books, okay, it took thousands of years for books to reach the audiences. You get what I'm saying? Because in the early years, it was so hard to come up with books. You need to write them down. You need to use stones. And furthermore, people cannot read or write. Okay? So it's quite limited. Okay? But when we talk about the media today, the expansion is very fast. And this is contributed by the development in media technology. That's why we only focus in this course on electronic media. Now you can say it's digital media. Traditionally, it's electronic, where they start to use electronic technologies. Right? So in the 50s, in the 60s, this was the highlight of broadcasting using electronic media, okay, in the world. Right? Prior to that, the 50s, the 40s, yes, in the US, they already have TV, they have radio. But the rest of the world, okay, we did not have them yet. We were more relying on printed media, like you said just now, Abbas, newspaper. Okay, what else? Books. But the thing with newspapers and books, okay, the distribution of the information becomes slower. Can you understand why it's slower? Although book is a mass media, okay, you need one person to read at a time. Isn't it, right? Okay, the same thing with newspaper. How about if you compare it to radio and TV, which is broadcast? One information, one time broadcast can reach millions of people. Okay, can you see how impactful that could be? Okay, so now when we talk about books, right, the industry is small in the old days, right, in the 50s, in the 40s, before electronic media. Why was the industry small? Like I said just now, all right, it's hard. Not everybody can read, and then you have to read one by one. So the development of the industry itself is small, right? Now, I will always use the word industry because this is the focus of the course. Industry means what? Okay, the whole business, the whole media business. All right, before electronic media, it was slow. Slow means what? Not much profit. Because they could not reach big audiences. Until they started to introduce broadcast. What is broadcast? Radio, television, broadcast. They broadcast one time through one channel and can reach the mass audiences. Now, when the technology reached this part, this era, then we can talk about the media industry. Because suddenly everybody, okay, rich people, they want to venture into the media industry. Because here they realize, oh, this is a jackpot. People can make a lot of money. How come? radio, TV, okay? It used to be books. Not so many people would buy books or can read books. But now we've come up with radio. Everyone can listen. And then they started to sell entertainment. And people automatically like it. Okay? So that's why it becomes a what? It becomes a big industry. Because there is a demand. Here, there starts to have a demand. Demand means what? The audiences, the public, people, they want the media. They want the content. Can follow? So the 60s was quite important because also the world social-culturally is different. Okay, many new countries just got their freedom after the Second War, right? So now they have time to watch TV and listen to the radio. Now they are not suffering anymore, so they want what? They want entertainment. So if you read up, in the 50s and the 60s, there was this boom, media boom. Okay, you have lots of singers, actresses, movies, films, okay, because there were demand. Okay, and if you remember all those big pop stars, Elvis, the Beatles, or even P. Ramlee, they were during this era, in the 50s and the 60s. Before that, you hardly hear of a popular name, isn't it? All right? So when they become popular, they start to create competition and businesses. That media companies become big. All right? It used to be small companies that produce books, small companies that produce newspapers. But now it's no longer small companies, it's big companies, big networks. What do we mean by networks? All right? In the 60s, in America especially, all right, it takes big companies to own media because they need a lot of money, right, to come up with radio, television. Not like today. Today, everybody can come up with radio and TV. Okay? So only rich people, big companies can come up with radio, TV. So it's big networks. Networks means what? One company own radio, is the same company that will also own TV. Can you follow what I mean? All right, I hope you can see the transition in the industry. From small businesses, limited audience, to big audiences and big businesses. Okay? And there is the rise in commercial versus public broadcasting. Why is it becomes big? Because there's a lot of money to be made here. Because here, there is what we call as commercial versus public. Public broadcasting, okay, like in Malaysia, we have RTM, okay, where it is made for the benefit of the public, all right, where the content most of the time very boring also. Traditional way of doing media, okay. But by the 60s, there was a rise of commercial. Commercial means what? Commercial means about making money. That they can produce whatever content they want as long as the audience like it and it can make money. Right? So in the 60s, that's why you can see a lot of pop culture. You know what's pop culture, right? The changes in the way people dress. Okay, maybe you see the photo of your grandma wearing like a Western 1960s actress, or your grandfather looking like Elvis. Okay, these are all examples of commercial culture. Okay, can you follow so far? All right. And then by the 70s, okay, there were coming in new types of media. It's not just TV. TV used to be broadcast. What do we mean by broadcast? Broadcast means you don't even have to pay, right? Everybody gets the channel. But by the 70s, people got more, what we call this, choice. If you don't want to watch broadcast, you can watch satellite and cable TV. What is satellite and cable TV? Basically, it's a subscription. That means you pay for the content. Okay, remember, in general broadcast, we don't pay for the content. When you watch TV3 or when you listen to the radio, do you pay for it? You don't, right? Okay, but when you watch Astro or Netflix, do you pay? Do you pay for Netflix to subscribe? Yes. So this is a new business model. Can you see? I want you to be able to see the transition in the industry. It used to be broadcast, free content, everybody watch the same thing. But as the technology develops, you give more option to people. People with money can subscribe better content. Okay, they can buy content that they like. Can you follow? All right, and this created narrow casting. Remember broadcasting? Now narrow. Broad means big, small means narrow. It used to be everybody watch RTM, but now those who can pay, they watch Netflix. Smaller group of audiences. Okay, and in the 70s also, okay, other industries realized, they need media too. Okay, so they started to create corporate video, organizational TV. That means it is no longer just mass produced. Right? Like what? Like industry companies coming up with their own corporate video, they come out with their own advertisements, they come out with their own media content. Okay? What does this show? That the industry now becomes bigger. Okay? And becomes more varied, got a lot of variety. And by the 80s, okay, 1980s, all right, they have more delivery systems. What do we mean by delivery systems? Okay, when we talk about television, there are different types of television. You have broadcast, you have narrowcast, you have cable, you have satellite, so many types of TV. Okay. So TV become fractionalized. What do we mean by fractionalized? Remember just now I say in the 60s broadcast means everybody watch the same thing. But by the 70s and 80s, people had more choice. If they have money, they can subscribe to different content. Right? And in the 80s, they started to give more control to the users, to the audiences. In the 80s only, they start to have remote control. So before the remote control, how did they change the channel? How to change channel, no remote control? They actually had to stand up and go change channel lah. Okay, they had to go press on the TV. This is probably you've never experienced. All right, but having to go and change channel, stand up, change channel is actually a lot of work. Right? Okay, now all you do is lie down and you hold the remote. What do you do with the remote? You kill the remote, right? You keep pressing, changing the channel. Okay, so this tells you what? That having a remote control changes the behavior of the audiences. Okay, now audiences, will you be faithful to your particular program when you have remote control? What do I mean by faithful? In the old days, you become faithful. Whatever's on the TV, you just watch. And it takes a lot of work to go and change the channel. Nowadays, what do? You change channel, right? Every single 20 minutes, every 10 minutes, you change channel. Okay? So this changes the audience behavior. And then the media must respond to the audience. Okay, so by the 1990s, everything has become digital. All right? So what is the impact of digital? Later on, we will have a full topic talking about the impact of the internet and digital media. Okay? So again, the media change. Right? And we can talk about, for example, internet. Okay, internet 1.0. This is the old internet. The old internet, okay, is like an alternative. You want to watch TV or you play with the internet. Okay, but today there's no alternative. It's all together. The TV is the internet. Okay. And by the 2000, okay, we can say bye-bye to all of this history because we started to have social networks. Okay, we start to have high-speed broadband. What is high-speed broadband? Bigger internet, faster internet. With faster internet, you get more media content.
Madam,
Yes, Sisoho.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Okay,
Only one.
No, just one question, madam.
Okay.
Okay, with all of the improvement of the internet, or like from last time radio, TV, and now we have the internet, Instagram, social media, Facebook, Clubhouse. No, there is an app. So like I want to ask madam, is there any chance that the media of the past, like radio, I think okay, for example, radio and newspaper, would it die throughout the zaman, or will it still be relevant to the people? I just
Okay.
wanted to know.
All right. Very good. Very good questions, right?
Uh,
For example, hold on. For example, your generation, do you actually go out and buy the newspaper?
no.
No. The only newspaper you get is from the nasi lemak. Right. But nowadays, nasi lemak also don't use newspaper already.
True.
Okay. But do you still read news?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm.
So media will evolve. It will change. But usually it will survive. Newspaper is not popular in its traditional form, but it is still relevant in a new form.
Okay.
Okay, so I give the answer to that first, because after this, the coming slides will explain what we mean.
Oh, okay.
Okay, all right. So here, why do we have to talk about this? Like I said, you must have a basically historical background about the evolution of the media. The media was not as fast or as powerful as it is today. There was a history. There was a development. Okay? Even the internet. The internet in 1990 is not the same as the internet in 2000. And the internet tomorrow is not going to be the same as the internet today. So the media change. Media change, audience change, and industry will follow. So as a media practitioner, this is the number one rule you must understand, that you have to be dynamic. Okay? So by the 2000, we already have social networking. We have UGC. What is UGC? User generated content. Now this is a powerful thing, because all this while, who has been producing content? Media industry. Big corporations. But now who's producing content?
Everyone.
Everyone. You are. I am. Okay? So if you were to think about it, right? Okay, you're a media company, but everybody is producing content. How can you compete?
The quality of the content, madam, because the media they already learn all of this, so they know what content is good for people, what content benefit for the people. But if okay, for example, if we ask an influencer what is their content, of course we can see the differences of the content. That is the quality. I think so, madam.
All right. Yes, quality of content, but ask yourself, which one did you watch? The 30 minutes mukbang of not doing anything, or the very good food cooking program on RTM? Which one did you watch?
Betul juga. So okay. Sorry, madam.
Well, it's okay. No need to be
Oh.
sorry, right? Because it's just discussion,
Oh.
right? It's a good point. Yes, okay. We need to talk about quality. But which program have you been choosing based on quality? Did you watch something based on the quality? Okay. So this is when understand that media industry wants to produce quality, but the audience does not really want quality. So you can't really always blame. For example, we always hear, right, media is giving bad influence. Wasisoho merajuk already. All right. But point is, okay, the media industry, this is what you must understand, okay, they respond to the environment as well. All right, how many of you here can watch a mukbang for 30 minutes? People just eat. You say you don't watch, but these people are making money? 30 minutes. Okay? And I read that there is this Indonesian guy who had followers of watching his video of doing nothing. Okay? And I also discovered now there's a brand of study video. What is study video? The person record himself study, you watch lah him study 4 hours. At least kurang dosa you tak study, you tengok orang study. Alright? Okay? So these are the kind of weird things that are going on when we look at it, we see it doesn't make sense, right? Why would people want to watch? But people are watching. And how have the media responded? Okay. So this we will discuss later on lah. Today we're just going to go through the background, right? The historical development. Okay, here I have this distinction between Web 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. What does this mean? It means that the internet is evolving. There is no one internet. There is a continuous change in the internet. The internet has a generation. And actually now people say we are already in generation 4.0. Okay, what does it mean? It means that the internet today, the ones that you are experiencing, is very different with the internet that you experienced in your high school. Okay? All right. But that is just the history of the media. You can see that the media is changing rapidly. All right? The technology has much influence. All right? When they started to introduce electronic media, then the adoption of media become very fast. That's why we started the history in the 60s with the broadcast media. All right, why is it the adoption of media very fast? Because when we talk about books, like I said, all right, you need to read, it takes time, okay, one by one, okay, and people need to be educated to accept books. So that takes hundreds and thousands, hundreds of years. But when they started to introduce TV, people don't need to learn about TV. You don't even need to speak the same language. You can still watch it. The same thing with the internet. Did any one of you go to school to learn how to use the internet? Maybe in the old days, yes, right, how to use computer, but your generation automatically knows. And I'm sure you have brothers and sisters, right? They were born using the internet. They cannot walk, but they can swipe. Why? Because the technology becomes really easy to be used. Okay? So what is the function of the media? Why do we need the media? Of course, media gives us entertainment. Media gives us more entertainment than information. That's the main reason why you use internet, right? To get entertainment. Okay, not really to get informed. Okay? Entertainment in what sense? Everything can become entertainment nowadays. All right? It's not just the old days. The old days, you need to come out with a production or music program or a film. But today, there is no format for entertainment. Okay? What is entertainment? Watching people eat is entertainment. Right? Watching people study, watching people do nothing, all of that is considered entertainment. Okay, media gives us news and information, and media allows for commerce. What do we mean by commerce? Media allow us to make money, to do business. Okay, especially now with social media, everyone can do business. I'm pretty sure most of you have your own online shop or have sold something online. Okay? And media also plays a role of what we call it, transmitting culture and custom. Okay? What do we mean by culture and custom? Our everyday life, our practices. Okay? What we like has all been influenced by the media. Okay? What kind of culture? Why is it today that we all, okay, Abbas, okay, all our international friends, Yaning, okay, Mariam, even us in Malaysia, we all eat the same food. All right? We all wear the same clothes. Because our culture and our values have been much influenced by the media more than our parents or our grandparents. Okay, or our traditions. Okay, culture. We cannot, media is very influential because you can see, for example, your taste, right? The taste in culture changes very fast. Okay, what kind of culture? Okay, Korean culture today, K-pop culture. Okay, how did it become so popular among Malay girls? Right? You have Malay girls that can speak Korean just by watching Korean drama. Right? They watch Korean drama, they can speak Korean. Alright, they learn tajweed for 10 years, cannot read Quran properly also. Why? Which one is more powerful? Huh? So Ustazah must speak Korean nowadays to teach tajweed. Okay? So here you sometimes, okay, the media also plays the watchdog role. What do we mean by a watchdog? Right? I'm sure you already know what we mean by watchdog, right? Okay. Watchdog is like surveillance. The media is supposed to inform us, okay, to warn us about things. Okay, that for example, in Malaysia, we are suffering from heat wave. Media should tell us, media should inform us and tell us what to do, how to respond. Okay, to prepare us. And watchdog role is supposed to be positive lah, to help us. Okay. And of course, media gives us relaxation and companionship. All right, we listen to music, watch TV. All right, also very dangerous now. You don't need friends, you just need Instagram followers. All right, companionship. All right, sometimes nowadays, okay, you prefer to be alone with your phone, to get lost in the online world and prefer not having people to kacau you, right? Okay, so media does that, relax and companionship, and then media connects people. Okay, so why do we have to look at all of this? Okay, we have to understand that the media does more than just give information. When media gives information, it also changes our opinion, our belief system, our culture, and everything. Okay, so how does this relate back to the media industry? Then you can analyze, for example, why K-pop culture is so popular. Why is it very successful? Because they realize all of this function. Okay, that when they produce the TV drama or whatever music, there is an intention to also introduce culture. Okay, that when you watch K-drama, suddenly even your taste bud change, right? That you need to eat K-fry, Korean chicken, isn't it, right? Korean chicken tastes better than the Malay goreng, ayam goreng. Okay, so this is the effect of the media. All right. But today there is a lot of change in the media. The media has become very democratized. Okay, what do we mean by democratized? More people can have access to the media, more people can produce media content. Okay, and this affects the industry. For example, today there is less gatekeepers. What do we mean by less gatekeepers? You know what's a gatekeeper, right? Okay, people who has the control. Okay, like I always say the example, okay, in UIA, who is the gatekeeper? Who takes care of the gate?
Okay.
Your OCAP or your park guard there, right? The guard takes care of the gate. What does he do? He has the power to allow or not allow you in. The same thing with media, journalism. Editors are gatekeepers. Government are gatekeepers. Businesses are gatekeepers. You write a very good article, but if your editor says cannot, then it would not pass. Okay? Traditionally, all right, you have the most beautiful voice, but you don't have a commercial face, for example. You cannot get a record album. But nowadays, what can you do if you have a good voice? Create your own YouTube channel. You become a social media sensation. Why? Because there are no gatekeepers. So how does this affect the industry? It affects the industry because there is more competitors. Okay? Can you follow the idea of gatekeepers? All right. Like now when you are using your mobile phone and everything is there, it becomes harder for your mother to control what you watch and what you listen to. In the old days, you have to go in the living room and switch on TV. Then she knows what you're watching. And then she can complain. She can say blah, 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 and you cannot hear anymore. You go back to your room. But now with your phone, okay, it's hard for her to control. So that is what we mean by less gatekeepers. Anybody can be a gatekeeper as long as if they have the power to stop you from getting the content. And nowadays, there is the UGC, what I said just now, UGC. User-generated content. Now, the media company is not just competing with other media companies, they are competing with the audiences. You are creating content. Okay? And this gives what? A lot of public access. Everyday people have access nowadays, right? To the information, okay, to what people like. So all of this, like I said, it changes the media industry, right? On one hand, it looks as if people are getting more freedom, more media choices, and we have more power, okay, which is quite true. Okay, you can use social media to criticize about your government, or we have seen in many countries where they have what we call it, uprising, okay, because the media has been democratized. But later on, we will learn that the media industry will always focus on profit making, and in that sense, they will try to control you instead you controlling them. Can you follow? All right. And today, okay, the contemporary media industry, okay, there's a lot of convergence. Like you said just now, you asked, right? What about newspaper? How to survive? Okay, in the old days, okay, when you had radio, everybody was listening to the radio. And then TV came. TV is so much more fun. More people watch TV and they left radio for a short while. But do you still see radio today? Yes. Why? Because then radio learned from TV. What is it TV cannot offer? Radio can offer. What can radio offer? You can listen to the radio while driving, right? While jogging. You cannot watch TV while you're driving. Okay? So radio has the ability, okay, to still compete with TV. Alright? So when internet came, most people also love the internet, okay, and find TV to be boring. But what happened? TV changed. Okay? Now you have online TV. So it means here, okay, that actually the media industry is resilient. This is the word. They can adapt. Because it's profit making, remember? They need to continue. So most of the time, the new media would not kill the old media. They will find a way to work together so that both can be profitable. Okay? And then an example of resilience is convergence. That your device today, where is your TV? Okay, radio. Can you see the radio nowadays? You go to the electronic shop, they don't sell radio anymore. Okay, have you ever seen a radio? Probably your generation don't even buy radio at home. You have radio? Okay, all right, still okay, your generation. I'm afraid if I have to teach another few years, people don't even know TV, they don't know radio. It's really hard. Maybe that's why they need old people to teach, to bring back history. Okay? I'm not saying me, I'm not old. I said other teachers, okay? All right? So my point is what, all right? TV and radio, we don't go out to buy radio anymore. People don't hardly buy TV because everything is converged in one device. They converge. Okay, why? Because they learn. Audiences nowadays, okay, they are very smart. They don't want to have different devices. They only want to have access to one. So what happens? How did the industry respond? They make sure that they are accessible through that device. isn't it, right? And then there is a corporate convergence, that the companies, okay, they combine with one another. We will learn this later, right? Okay, they combine with one another, okay, because they cannot compete, so they work together. And then they proliferate, they increase distribution channel. You don't watch TV3 anymore on your box, TV box. So how do they get access to you, TV3? Okay, they allow you to download on Tonton, and they are on Instagram, and then they are on Facebook, okay? And then they create multiple channels so that they can still access you. Can you understand? Right? So these are examples of how contemporary media today respond to the changes that we have discussed just now. Okay? What you need to understand is that the media industry is resilient. They will find ways to survive. Okay? So while they continue to have issues, you know, internet is always a challenge to the media. Internet almost killed newspaper, but it did not. But newspaper have become less popular, that's true. All right? And then it has brought a lot of changes in your behavior, in your media habits, all right? And then there is this issue of connection actually. Later on, we will discuss, while we are talking about media development, there are still people who are having problem to get connected to the internet. All right, I think the pandemic has shown, for example, okay, how young children who have limited access cannot participate in schools. All right, so this is also an issue when we depend so much on technology, okay, and democratization of the media. We've already discussed that just now. All right, what do we mean by democratization? No more gatekeepers. Everybody can have access. So all of this will affect the media industry. So these issues demands the industry to become resilient. Okay. All right, so that is it. It's just to introduce you, okay, to the media industry, okay, to give you a very short history of the media, okay. Why do we need to learn about history? Why do you need to appreciate history? Because history will tell you where we're going. Okay, history will put your experience today into context. If you read history, then you know, oh, this is why it is like this at the moment. Right? Okay, any questions? Okay, no question. Very good. Everybody understand? Now, with regards to our class, we will only meet once a week. All right, which is today or Tuesdays, 11:30 to 1. All right, so I will finish the lecture once a week. But should you have any questions or you want extra tutorials whatsoever, you can ask, okay, and we can continue our discussion in the WhatsApp group. Okay, and I would advise that if you have a question, you ask in the class WhatsApp group so everyone can benefit. Okay, all right, that's it. One last go. Any question? How many person in one group? Not decided yet. Okay.
Okay,
I will
madam.
find you the group. Don't worry. You all will have a group member because I will find it for you. It's very fun for me.
Yes, thank you, madam.
Okay. All right. If there's no questions, we end the class today with tasbih, kafarah, and one as. Okay. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, madam.
Okay. See you next week. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you,
Thank you very
madam.
much, madam. Have a good day.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
Excuse me, madam.